Okay, we're going to start our Town of Sangerville Board of Selectmen meeting. It is Wednesday, September 5th, and it is 5:06. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
Item 2, approval of the minutes, August 15, 2018, Select Board meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Those in favor? It's unanimous, 3. Item 3, review of treasurer's warrants, payroll 117, 121, and 124. B, accounts payable 114, 115, 116, 118, 119, 120, 122, and 123.
Make the motion to approve all.
Second.
Those in favor? All in favor. We have no guests today, so open session is over. Selectmen's concerns, item 5.
Oh, because I keep forgetting. And I thought of this a while ago. Can we have, because right now we have all kinds of different appointments and now contracts. What do you think about just something easy, but for a document that has all this stuff listed, so we all kind of have an idea of what does what and when? So like some things get appointed right after town meeting.
Like
Everything.
Hamlin's gonna come due next August.
Hamlin's
Oh,
is gonna
okay.
be done in August, some things are yearly, you know what I mean, that kinda, I mean, I'm not, no official policy or whatever, but we always kinda,
Just sort of like a calendar. Like
yeah,
that,
well,
like
yeah, just a list of all the different things that we have to do.
right, so that we don't forget. Or,
Most of them, or many of them, were done right after town meeting.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, your appointments, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just seems like we lose track.
or we don't want to
Correct.
let something fall.
Oh, I sent you this, it's from the town of Fayette, but it's the building and property maintenance ordinance. It just happened to come through. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it and review it, if you thought it might be something that's a little bit more comprehensive than what we already have.
So the red was,
They're putting this is their newest version that they're putting
Okay.
out to their people, and those were the additions that they made to their,
okay.
yeah,
That was my only thing. I did read it, but I wasn't sure whether the red, what the red was.
yeah.
I didn't compare it to what we have.
Well, we have I don't know, is it like 1 page? Not much.
Yeah, it was a fairly contentious.
Very.
Were you at that town meeting? A lot of people got up and spoke for and against, and
I must have been.
it didn't pass by a wide margin, did it? But I'm not aware of any enthusiasm for any sort of a redo on that. I haven't heard, no one's reached out to me and said, gee, I don't like the way this, or it needs to be more comprehensive, or I haven't heard anything. Have you heard anything?
Just working with George, trying to do cleanup. This has, most of your ordinances should have definitions, where ours doesn't actually have any definitions at all, so,
That was by plan. They didn't want that. George worked with the planning board to develop ours. And that was the clear part of ours why they did it that way, that it wasn't defined.
There was intentional ambiguity.
Yeah. It's a broader, and I mean, I'm just what I remember. If you
Right.
discuss with George or even with Jerry about it, but I remember it was very vague for,
yeah.
Yeah, you guys must have done it.
I know, we did. We did.
But I would say that if our code enforcement officer has concerns and suggestions, that would be a catalyst for reopening this.
Yeah. So I'll have George review it and see what he thinks,
Yeah,
if this
thinks
is
that-
gonna be better. or
Do we
if-
need to look at our current
Right.
situation? Because other than George, I haven't had any citizens. Or likewise, if you had,
Right.
so.
And the only reason why it came up is because it came across your,
Listserv, the
Oh.
manager's listserv, when managers around the state have questions, hey, do you have something for this, do you have something for that? Everybody that's,
jumps on and gives suggestions.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
So
That's
the
where
only
a
reason
lot
why
of
it
my
came up.
stuff comes up, yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Now-
that's, anything else?
Well, the only other thing was I rely on the town website, because I do not do Facebook.
Right,
And so I've noticed that it's getting a little dated. And also like the meeting wasn't on there until, I don't know.
yeah, that was just an oversight.
I just wanted to, and you're taking care of the town website, correct? And also I hate it when I go to a website and things are dated. If you go.
Well, the old pictures,
Like old pictures?
I'd rather have no pictures.
Right.
Well,
right.
and that's what that's what I said, we've talked about it in the office, it's like, I hate all this crap on there.
Yeah.
But I don't know what do people wanna see? I don't wanna have it completely blank, I wanted to have, like, the homepage, I want just the homepage. And for road work or something like that, I would like to have a separate page, or the rec department, so that we can put that
It's all
stuff
your
on there.
baby.
Well,
That's
I've emailed that woman and she hasn't called me, and I've gotta email her again, but yes.
Well, and Terry is, I'm sure, willing to help you, but, because she built most of that. So-
Well, I tried to figure it out on my own, and where you can start a new page, like the businesses. So I want to click on that, Sangerville businesses, and come up to a page, and that way you can click on each individual business. I don't like when you hold this cursor over and they're just listed, because they don't, depending on the computer, they don't all fit on the screen. And so I tried to fix it and make a page, but I ended up deleting Chummy. I can't get it put back on.
I'm
And that
sure
was
she
the
can
other
help
thing,
you.
so I
We
wanted.
had a bad link. One of the audio links
Yes.
didn't work,
Right.
and it was just that one character getting dropped off. Probably
It
you
brought
cut
me
it
all
and
my
you pasted it.
YouTube videos.
And Terry said, I can fix that, and she went upstairs and she fixed the link. So I
Okay,
think, that she can put tabs on. We talked about putting on an ATV tab.
Oh, yeah,
Because
that'd be great.
a previous administration had directed her, remove everything ATV. Well, now, a lot of ATV development has taken place.
yeah.
It'd be good if we could even have a trail map.
Well, that's it. I mean, a lot of people
There
come in
used
and
to
ask
be
for
a
the
map
map.
on
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
Yeah, so people know.
There's just
Yeah.
a lot more activity around it, so it would be good, I think.
Right.
yeah.
And I know that she could do that,
All right, so I want tabs.
yeah.
Well, and
That
all
was-
old pictures, take them down, just take them
Yeah,
down.
I'd rather have nothing
Yeah,
on
yeah,
construction
yeah.
than
But
2017.
honestly, I would rather have even occasional random pictures. It doesn't always have to be about
Yep.
road construction or.
Well, I put
Yeah.
on like their last concert where they had
Yeah.
the cars. That's on there. But again, it's on like the homepage, and if you don't scroll down, you don't see any of it anyway. And that's why I want the tabs so that people can go see.
Right,
Yep.
right.
You just have to be careful with that company that we're linked with, because I asked the question before about the calendar. I
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
the calendar so we could have it come through as a notification, so we would,
And what happened?
it was like
Oh, it was a huge bill.
it's huge, and we never got linked. We got a calendar, but it's
Yeah.
not doing anything.
Yeah.
But all the changes that
Oh, no.
Terry made, she made them on her own. She got no help from, so I'm sure she can move those tabs around and create new pages and.
Well, I figured out how, there's a parent, it says parent when you're doing a new page. And so I clicked on the parent, but nothing happened.
Yeah, and I
So-
mean, if you're spending tons of time doing that.
Well, that
that's
was it.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when somebody can do it with 3 keystrokes,
This could go on a new agenda items, but I'll throw this under selectmen's concerns because, I might as well. Parks and Rec, we haven't replaced our rec director.
No,
And it's pretty clear, we had a meeting, with Pirate Rec, and, we talked a little bit about kind of integrating. But I'm wondering if maybe we need to rethink Parks and Rec and discuss maybe a different structure, maybe parks. Rec is going to be Pirate Rec, it appears that that's what it's gonna be. and
Yeah.
They have a lot of energy and they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
But we still have a substantial investment in that piece of property. I think there are things that we could consider doing that would make it better for everybody. I think we've got some planning issues. I mean, one of the things that Jason talked about was when you got all these games going and boats going right through the middle of, the boaters have as much right to get to the
yeah.
lake, but I understand but maybe there are things that we could do to that layout to make it better, but that would fall under parks.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if we maybe have a workshop but think about maybe restructuring that so that it's a park, we'd have a park committee, and we could talk about those kind of visions.
And are you thinking also a director for the park?
We could have maybe just a committee and let the board run with it, because there's not a lot of day-to-day activities there, I don't think. The town manager can run, the trash pickup, and we have to do the mowing but
It's all
bigger,
contractual anyway, I mean,
Yep.
it's not.
yep.
That's right, okay, yeah.
But and Dale and I have talked about this before, over there looking at that property, is maybe there's a way to reconfigure that whole road system so that you have a road that's going around the activities instead of through the middle of them.
Straight through.
And maybe you create maybe an area back there where you have room to park a few boat trailers without getting involved in the soccer game, or,
Yeah.
because we actually own quite a bit of land there.
Really, to the.
Right to the
north
water.
or the south? Oh, well, I know to the
Yeah.
water, but north
It's
is
not much further up the road.
up the road, so
It's
south.
all the way, the water's on two sides and the road's
So
on the
it's
other.
rectangular, pretty
Yeah.
much rectangular?
But I don't know, maybe it's not feasible, but it would, if ideally those sorts of things,
Right.
they're gonna take a plan, they're gonna take some budgeting.
Yep.
But I think
Building a road.
if we could make it better,
Yeah,
it would be,
yeah.
so maybe we don't need, I don't know, this, again, we can have a workshop on this or approach it however we guys want, but maybe we don't need to replace the rec director, because we're not recreating.
No.
Right.
What
And
we
that's
need is,
kind of what I've said to
okay,
Jason.
so maybe we need a parks committee. But we can, that's maybe on the next agenda, or that's just something I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I do.
But I think it's important, well, where it's gonna be a little cumbersome will be, I think initially everybody's gonna think that you're on the rec committee. And the rec committee is really, with Jimmy retiring, it's I think, that disappears,
Yeah.
so,
And is Jason, he's Pirate Rec?
he's Pirate
Pirate
Rec.
Rec. That's his baby?
Yep.
Okay.
They
He's always been
are,
active on the rec committee, but
Right.
he's more of the rec voice of the committee.
and now he communicates with Lois, if he
Okay.
needs something, or they coordinate together, and
Yep.
so, and it really, you're kind of the park director now, I mean, this needs to be mowed, that tree fell over. or
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's not that big of
yeah,
a,
it's
Right.
it's like any fence that we have,
Right.
it's just
Right.
part of town's property.
Right.
But I do think there's potential in that property to make it more useful for everybody, so.
To me, driving by that property, if you actually drive down there and you get out of your vehicle and you go to the water, there is a decent view there. You can see that there's a lot of potential with that area for people to be able to use that. And I would like to see is that part of the land more opened up and accessible for townspeople to use, and make it better.
so the waterfront, a little
Yeah.
bit more of the,
Yeah, and it's just struck me, because I totally understand, he's got 100 kids there, all going back and forth, and then the guy's going through with a pontoon boat. But at the same time, I'm thinking, the guy with the pontoon boat isn't doing anything wrong.
No.
We just haven't got it set up right.
right.
And that's where I feel like it's our responsibility to try to come up with a better system, so
Yeah.
everybody can utilize this
Yeah, it just
spot.
needs a better flow. It
Well,
needs,
it's pretty unsafe, actually.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
I know
You
we,
can't have a lot of vehicles going through and through there with a lot of kids.
yeah,
Right,
it's not ideal.
kids darting around and no.
And they're
But-
quick little buggers, chasing
Yeah, I
a
mean,
soccer
we were-
ball or a baseball.
Yeah, absolutely, and
Yeah.
we're even talking about, trying to make it, put in speed bumps to make it hard for.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm thinking, that's not really
No.
the best. We need to create a
better
facility
flow.
that everybody
It
can
needs,
use.
An engineer, somebody to volunteer to engineer the.
Well, that's
flow
what would be
dynamics.
cool, is if we could, between all of the local folks.
Yeah.
The same people who help build the field might help build a road around the field.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even
Yes.
know, I mean, looking quickly at it, I don't know if we really even need to go all the way around. If we could, I was thinking that if you had a road before the fields themselves, so between like the soccer field and the stream. So if you went straight in on that side, you're actually gonna come out at the road that goes down to the beach area. So that boat landing isn't anything other than cement, pieces of cement laying in the water.
Right.
If you could clean up that area down there that people are already using, there's plenty of room, you could say swimming on this side. If we could pull those cement things out and put down there, you would combine all of that in one spot. So you'd go straight in, there's swimming, there's boat, there's room there,
You could have
potentially
picnic tables,
park.
you could have those little
Yeah,
barbecue things.
but that would separate that whole activity from all of the sports activities,
Yeah.
but. and
That's
maybe
exactly
not
the
it.
kind of thing
Yep.
we need to
Well,
brainstorm it. and-
the one thing you have to consider is it is waterfront property and we do have shoreline zoning and we do have to adhere to that.
Yep,
So we can't clear cut all the way to the water.
no, it's pretty
That's-
thin down in there.
It is pretty thin and there's a lot of brush, which we could
Yeah,
probably
you
clear
can
up the
pick away at
brush.
it, everything under, I
leave the
think, 3
trees.
inches you can remove. I mean, but
Yeah.
we could make it better.
Yes.
And every year we could make it a little better.
Now-
So every year it's gonna get,
Right. Are you saying move the concrete?
Mm-hmm.
So move the ramp? Okay. Because I mean, that's like legal to do, I mean, you'd have to, I forget.
Well,
who you
I know
contact.
that was, I'm just going through some of the old files in one of the file cabinets in there, that was put in on a grant.
Uh-huh.
And so I think, I mean, if you wanted to move it, you may be able to apply for this other grant to
Right.
say,
Which would develop it a little bit more.
Might even be a
without-
grant to develop that park, might be some monies to help us expand that road system, I don't know.
but I mean, everything we're talking about is for the safety of the.
Right.
You know what I
Right,
mean? So
right.
even in the grant situation, I would think if people really looked at that as a whole, it would put us a little higher on that level of the grant list
Yep.
because of that. Or maybe it wouldn't, but I don't think it's that. It's not a big expense, I mean,
Well, moving those concrete things.
I think
it's
that's-
non-permitted, it's a phone call, they can pull them out. And it's a permit, there's a phone call. And
They're
they
putting
put
them
the stone
in
back
every
in,
year, I mean,
Put them right back in.
Oh,
this-
really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
Who does it? The state?
contractors, I
Any
think,
contractor
Yeah.
can.
Okay.
They're all over the place though.
I didn't specifically ask about moving from location A to B,
Right?
but with everything going on at Center Pond
Oh.
and those
yeah,
ones there,
yeah.
that's when we asked Tommy as far as how does this work? Is this permitting or, nope, he's a phone call. He said, you can pull them out of there anytime.
And reset them and
Yeah.
replace them, okay.
So he said where that's recreation, it's under a whole different,
Huh,
it's not the same as dwelling and.
right, my own private boat landing.
Well, okay. It's just something to think about.
Yeah,
I
maybe-
like that.
Maybe none of that's even possible. It's an idea, that's all.
I like it.
Item 6, road commissioner.
I haven't seen Seth this week, but I do know last week they are screening the gravel down there on, by Blackstream, Brian
Campbell.
Campbell, yep, in his property. I did have to talk to Butch and let him know that he could not go down there. So I took-
I spoke to Seth this morning. I just
did.
gave him a call, just to check in with him, and he told
Yeah.
me that the screening was going pretty slow.
That's what he told me. He
Yeah.
said, because the
About half
bucket
done.
is only like a 2.5 yard bucket, so it's very
Looks big when you're looking
small.
at it, but.
It does, it does. And I need to get the new, it's gotta have new blade on it.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
yes.
You probably have one right up the garage.
You mean the
that's a good
loader
point.
bucket looks small?
When
When it's up there?
Yeah, when you're trying to process 1,000
Yeah,
yards of
yeah,
gravel,
yeah.
all of a sudden it
That-
feels like a spoon.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's way bigger than my bucket.
Oh,
But we have volunteer actually working that part of it, so we're not paying a
well, that's
contractor.
good. So there's volunteer up there screening. Great, that's good.
So, Dale could be right, there could be a cutting blade up there.
Yeah.
There's,
I will-
remember in that back section, up against the wall on the ground, there was all kinds of cutting edges up there. No idea if they're plow ones or if they're
Oh, yeah,
loader,
that's
but-
right, there could be on a lot of different
Yeah,
implements.
but most of those are standard bolt pattern, and its length is the issue. But I would definitely, might wanna look.
Well, somebody's gonna have to look, cause I don't know what I'm looking for.
Seth will.
Seth will have to go in and
He will know for
he will
sure.
I bet
know.
it's just to take a measure.
Mm.
Draw a line.
And I did let him know that, we want that culvert removed on Silver's Mills.
So is he busy doing other things, or is he waiting to get that project done before he does ditching in East Sangerville or ditching on McFeeters?
Well, I
or-
haven't seen him in town, and he was gonna stop in like every Monday or to give me, you know, his work, and I haven't seen him, because Monday this week was a holiday, so. So I can't answer that because I haven't, I'm assuming he might be working back in Parkman this week.
Is roadside mowing still going on, or?
It's
Not
done.
on my road.
No, it wasn't on
Never
the
got
list. No, it wasn't on the list, because I went from the map that the previous person had constructed, and it wasn't on that map. So I've already put it in the, you know, I went back and highlighted it, and I've added it to the list so that next year it's on there.
Okay. Very good.
Item 7, new business, A, abatements and supplementals.
So we have a supplemental for a mobile home that was not assessed on the Gray Road. We have two abatements. One is for tax year 2017, one is for tax year 2018. This is for Lynn Eastman. She has this parcel, and I've attached the survey. At some point, somebody changed the acreage to like 4 acres, and it should not have been 4 acres. It should have only been 1.73. And she had the map to prove that that's what it should have been. So Hamlin's calculated it, and that's, I mean, I think both of them are like 90 each. It wasn't too bad. So they were in an accurate assessment on the number of acres.
For 2 years, same piece.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Can you only go back 2 years?
You can go back 3 years. And this abatement, the barn fell over in the winter, and it was gone by the April 1st date. There is an application for abatement, and he's asking for the $9,700 abatement on the value of the barn that was assessed, and that's fine, absolutely. But he was also requesting, the dairy barn was clad in cement shingles containing asbestos due to Maine DEP requirements, and environmental contractor is required to remove and dispose of this material. Estimated cost of removal or disposal is $32,500, and that has been included. But Mr. Moran gave us his recommendation that says, he feels that it does not qualify for any more of an abatement. We should deny the request, So it should deny the request. It should be up to the owner to incur any cost of removal, and since Maine is a buyer beware state, the town should not be liable for building removal of asbestos. So he's only issued an abatement for the dilapidation of the barn. But just so that you know, there is a request.
Does
for an
the owner
additional-
know this is what's gonna happen?
He hasn't come in and asked any questions, but once it's signed, I can send him a letter and say, you know, they've approved this much, but this is not, because it's not it's not the value.
So my other concern, I guess, with this is now knowing everything that we know, does this get handed over to our code enforcement? Because we now know that you have a hazardous material sitting there, and we know that there's some wet areas over there. So,
Oh, you know where it is?
Yep, it's right by your ditching, and
Yes,
it's
it
right
is.
beside where we talked about a ditch going down through. So we know
It's across the
that's a
road
wet
from-
area. So I personally would have a concern that, you know, that needs to be cleaned up properly and
Yeah. All right, so
not end up in some type of landfill that's not appropriate.
I can pass it on to code enforcement.
With regard to code enforcement, we don't have, I mean, we have an ordinance for nuisance. He has to follow state law,
Correct.
which sounds like he's doing, because he's already contacted the people who specialize in this, that's how he knows what he's got. But we don't have a procedure for, or do we have a procedure for, if he needs to clean this up, he doesn't come get a permit from us.
I don't think so, no.
Nope.
No, but code enforcement should know that it's it's asbestos.
We only know it because he told us.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, we have nothing in play to ever make this part of our code enforcement other than
No,
somebody informing us.
I'm just, I guess code enforcement could always go to DOT and say, this barn is still sitting there. He hasn't addressed it, it's been sitting there for 2 years in a pile.
I don't know if there's anything wrong with that. I don't believe he has a time frame. The process,
To clean it up.
correct. I believe as long as it's there, I don't think the issue is if you do something with it.
Try to sell it.
Well, if you move it, that's
You move
what
it.
releases the dust and stuff into the air.
But I would, I mean, that would be a code enforcement question where it's a legal issue, but when that stuff comes down, it can, as long as you don't touch it,
Right.
I don't think you have to do what this is saying. But if you're
Right.
gonna clean it up and you're gonna do anything with it, then you have to follow.
The interesting thing is that he thinks this liability, this personal liability, is something that he can shift to the town. That I find fascinating, because you could have a bad roof, you could have a bad septic system, and all of these things would reduce your taxes, right? And that happens to citizens every day. So I don't know where he came up with the concept, but if he's right, it would be a can of worms.
So he had Eastern Maine Environmental come in and look at this?
Apparently, that's their estimate.
That's how he got the
yes.
price.
Why? Because he knew it was asbestos.
Right. He's gonna clean it up either way, is my guess, that's why he had him come in.
Right.
He's just hoping to save a little on taxes.
So you're wondering now, do we need to follow through and say,
I
well,
think now that you know, I think we have a responsibility that our code enforcement should keep an eye on.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, but we don't have any liability.
No, I will be amazed if we do. This is the first salvo. I mean, he may come back over the net with, I'm suing you. I'm just really,
Yeah.
the whole request it's amazing to me. Because if he has standing, a lot of people will have standing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The environmental is required removing.
I would make a motion, and specifically state that one for only the 9,700. You
Okay.
don't wanna leave it open. You're
Okay.
only gonna approve that and not,
So I'll make a motion to approve Eric Stumpfels, is that correct? A request for an abatement, but only for the $9,700, which is what the barn was, valued at.
And the other, do the other supplement, abatements too.
Oh, okay, and then, should I say the name of the?
Yeah, that's fine.
And,
It's covered.
the next abatement I'd like to approve is Lynn and Jacob Eastman's, $4,810, value. And the next one is another, that was for year,
It's right at the top.
okay, 2018. And same Lynn and Jacob Eastman for tax year 2017, for the same value, 4,810 value, approve an abatement. And what about the,
Supplement.
supplement?
Yeah.
And also approve supplemental tax certificate and warrant for Danielle Ames, and assessed value $5,540.
Second.
Any further discussion? None, let's vote. All in favor? 3-0.
And you've already signed the municipal valuation return, that's B.
Okay.
Does that require a motion? On to general assistance public hearing.
It is that time of year again where they send out our new ordinances for general assistance, and we have to, by law, hold a public hearing. So if we want to do it like at the beginning of our next board meeting, you know, the 5 minutes of
Okay, because it has to be posted for,
7 days.
okay, yeah, that's fine.
And our next meeting would be?
September 19th.
Okay.
Sand bid.
I only received one, and it is from Mr. Jackson. And he only bid on supplying the sand, not mixing the sand, but I think we can still hire somebody to mix it. So, and his bid is $9.10 per cubic yard.
How does that compare to last year?
It was I believe it was $10.75
Which
mixed.
included the labor.
Yes.
Oh.
So it was $9.75 not mixed. So it's gone down.
Well, we don't know what the labor's gonna be.
Right.
That'd be comparable.
Yeah, I wonder if Seth would mix it.
I think he would.
I mean, his crew is gonna get paid to do it, so.
Right.
But that's our only bid. But I'm still concerned though with the quality of the sand.
We can bring that, I've mentioned it already with him, and I have talked to him about it, and he was pretty adamant, he thought
He thinks he can get
he
what we
thinks he
need.
can get a good vein in it.
Cause
Well-
Seth had the same problem.
Right, and I had talked with Seth, and he got his last year from Chummy too, and he had the same problem. And he said he had spoken to Chummy and that they're in a new vein, that it's supposed to be
So,
better.
how many other, sources did you contact?
I sent to 10 or 11,
Whoa.
Good.
and I made copies of the
I
letters
mean,
that I sent.
unfortunately, nobody
so-
else wanted to sell the sand, but.
And
And
that's the only
yeah,
bid.
yeah, and yeah.
That's, wow, that's new.
So, we need
Oh, to make
to make a motion to,
So I make a motion to accept Mr. Jackson's sand bid for winter 2018-19 sand.
any further discussion? Only that, I would say the processing, that amount of money is gonna be something that you can basically handle for us. We won't need to bid that out, would we?
Oh, right,
Right, okay.
no,
But they were 2
No.
days, 2 days last year?
yeah.
I mean, so,
Sure,
you take one guy's labor for 2 days is what you
That's it.
need.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, any further discussion? We vote, all in favor? Old business, Abby Fowler.
We, just this update that we talked I talked to the town attorney about changing or amending section 10B, which was the section in the proposed purchase and sale that Mr. Howard wants to give the property back to the town for the purposes of remediating any further environmental issues. And she was not comfortable with that section, the town, because I sent our attorney. But the rest of it she was fine with. The 10B, this is the wording here that she would prefer to have. She said you don't want to have it come back to the town because the town may not get a grant, and then the town would be required to clean it up before they could give it back to him. So this is the wording that she's preferring to use. And she said we would like to note that Gordon Contracting and Mr. Howard can apply for remedial dollars under a voluntary response action plan just as easily as the town could. She's told me some of her family connections in business, and she said they have businesses, locations that they have to apply. It's gas and tanks and stuff underground, and she said they give it to businesses. That doesn't have to be the town. So I will send this to, if you're comfortable with it, I will let her know that we're good with it, and I will
we're
call
basically
Mr.
following her lead.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
yeah,
Yeah, that's my opinion. Whatever she says we should sign is what I wanna sign.
Yep.
I really would like to see this move forward, but I don't want to in any way, shape, or form.
I definitely don't wanna sign something she says don't sign.
No,
That's not.
No, we're not doing that.
I would
Right.
not.
right now.
right. So, and then I will contact Mr. Nessman and tell him this is what we're comfortable with.
On to paving.
So, as previously stated, I have the one bid that was turned in from Pike Paving for that, the rest of that little section from Silver's Mill. So if you want Pike to do it, I need a motion, or if you want me to put it out further to bid. I did give everybody that had previously submitted the opportunity to submit an estimate or a quote, and none of them did, so.
And that's, just to clarify, we're going from Mark Gray's to the bridge.
Yes, yes.
Well, that's why I just wanted, because I've had some people, are we going all the way to the bridge, are we stopping up above this thing?
There's a hole there that still has gravel in it, and I think I'd like to have Seth look at that before he actually paves it.
It might be a rock or something.
Well, you honestly, you might want to talk to Chummy, only because he will tell you, I don't know the history, but I will tell you that section has been dug up 4 or 5 different times, so I don't know why or whatever, but maybe
He
Well,
might
there's
know.
he can at least let you know what had
Well, I've talked
happened
to
in the
Chris
past.
about it a couple of times,
Yeah.
and I think, my understanding is there's a spring or something underneath, and they've dug it up, and they've put crushed rock in, and
They've done several.
they've put pipe in, and crushed rock and pipe, and gravel, and this last year, usually that pops back up, apparently at the end of the year, but Chris filled it with gravel this year, and it still is just as smooth, so, I think I wanna have Seth look at that before we,
Yeah, he's gotta be over there anyway.
right,
Gotta pull that
exactly,
culvert, so.
exactly.
And if it's that much of an underground spring, I mean, I know everybody else, they've gone deep, but maybe they haven't gone deep enough, take it out of there. Divert it
Yeah,
under instead of at 4 feet down, go down below.
yeah,
'Cause
As
what
far
they've
as the
done now-
number, I mean, we based you did this research, you got these quotes, and then we went and put the warrant together.
yep.
Right.
My feeling is, I'd give it to Pike.
Yeah,
We already did this
Right,
once,
Right.
right,
so,
yep.
do you have any idea when they could do it?
I don't, I haven't contacted him because I wanna wait and say, we want you to do it, I was
You've been
waiting for your
awarded.
board.
Yep. So, you need a motion.
Yes,
Make a motion to, award Pike, the,
what do you want, the dollar?
yeah, sure, there you
Well,
go.
it's just a quote.
right.
Okay, for the quote, of, $119,621.70 to Pike Industries to continue our paving project on the Silvers Mills Road.
Second.
Those in favor? 3-0.
Best motion of the night.
Committee policy update.
I showed you, I think I forwarded, our committee policy that we did last year. There was a couple of typos in it, but under the budget committee, it was more of a finance committee definition than a budget committee definition. So the finance committee would be the ones that, reviews your investments and guide you in that manner, whereas a budget committee is through the budget process. And so I've reworded that, and under economic development, it had referred to the comprehensive plan, which we don't have in existence, so I took that wording out and changed the town to Sangerville. It said Unity, so.
I saw that.
Thank you.
And so we don't have a finance committee,
No,
right?
you are the finance
Yeah.
committee. I mean, you're the
Such
ones
as
that
it
gets
is.
to make those decisions as far
Yeah,
as.
yeah.
But they actually use the definition of the finance
Right.
with the
Right.
budget.
Right. And it is a budget committee,
Yes.
yeah.
So you need a motion to accept this amended
Yes.
policy?
Yes, it's the board and committee policy.
I make a motion to accept the revised board and committee policy.
Second.
Those in favor? 3-0.
We'll need signatures.
Correspondence, Alvina Church.
So, this was turned in to me yesterday, and it says, "Dear Lois, after much thought, I am saddened to have to inform you that I will be taking early retirement. It has been my great pleasure to serve the town of Sangerville for 25 years, and I will miss the daily communication with the residents of the town. My last official day will be Friday, October 26th, 2018. That will ensure I have time to obtain other health insurance. Just want to let you know how much I have enjoyed working alongside you for the past year. I will miss both you and Doreen, but I'm really excited and looking forward to retirement."
Huh. Wow.
Yes, retiring.
Huh. So she submitted this yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Do you have a plan?
Long tenure.
Do you have a plan?
Sort of. I'm working on it.
Pretty short. I mean, that's,
Yeah, short and sweet. Have you talked to her about it? Or just?
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a,
Yep. Well, okay, so do we need to?
no.
no, we don't
There's
have
nothing
to.
we need to do.
Nope.
Okay.
All right, that's, but now we can address her. I mean, we could thank her.
Yes,
Sure.
yes,
Yep.
yes, yes,
Acknowledge it.
yes.
Okay.
In fact, we might wanna think of a more official acknowledgement of it before we get to the end of October. Maybe we can talk about that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
25 years is a long time,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, okay.
That's what Doreen and I said.
Request for additional agenda items?
I just have one thing that I didn't have on the list. Bob Thomas, who is the representative for the MMA Property and Casualty, came and inspected all of our buildings last week. And he said the couple of things we don't have covered is the cook shack on the rec field and the fencing. It's like, I didn't know the fencing wasn't covered, so he was gonna add that,
What do you mean by,
No insurance on it.
no insurance on
On
it.
the fencing
far
though,
as-
you have to fence,
as-
ensure your
as far as
fencing?
what type
Well,
of?
if someone destroyed it, you would have no coverage.
Oh.
Right, right,
Haven't we
right.
claimed that?
I don't think you did.
Oh.
No, I think they've talked about that they've taken it out of their reserve account. That's what I remember them saying. They had to fix the fence
Self-insuring.
and they took it out of the
I
reserve
thought,
account.
back when Ken was here, I thought there was a conversation about that, but
clearly I am wrong.
According to him,
Yeah, okay.
that they're not listed anywhere on any
I
property.
say, he's gonna know, he's,
And we've got the gazebo in there, cause I added it
Right.
last year, so
And the
he's like,
cook shack isn't on there, huh?
no,
So when you say the cook shack, that's like damages or liability?
the
damages,
Okay. That's
damages.
what I-
There is no
Yes.
real
Well,
liability.
that's what I was
Right.
thinking.
But vandalism, you could burn it up, someone could steal it.
Right,
So it's only
Could
been
have a
there for-
grease fire.
Yep, good.
Okay,
I
okay, so.
mean, I
Is there
can't
any-
imagine it's gonna be very expensive to pick up
Add
the coverage
those.
for that. The fencing's
God.
worth more than this cook shack probably, but.
yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know what you're gonna gain out of it. The fence guaranteed is gonna get damaged every year, so is it, are you better off to put it on, knowing you're gonna take it
Yeah, or
as a
just
claim, or you just
have a
better off to leave
reserve
it alone?
fence fund that you
Fund.
just,
That's what I'm-
Yeah, yeah.
but we'll know when we get a price, bless you.
God bless you.
I would just hate to think that we're gonna add, oh, it doesn't cost much to add it, but we used that a couple times as a claim and
And then you
costs
got
us
a
more
problem.
than it's
Yeah.
worth, or creates a bigger problem, that's all.
He should know all that. When he comes
Yeah.
back to us with
Yeah.
a number,
Yeah.
what if we have a claim, what's gonna happen?
Yeah,
Right,
I'm glad you did the review though, because municipalities are
yeah.
famous for, stuff just gets.
well, we
left
went through everything, I mean, all the vehicles, all the
Wow.
buildings.
Well, that cook shack's only been there for 20, 25 years, I mean,
Huh, missed it last time.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I was,
that's weird.
yeah,
Okay.
guess that's the difference between a thorough review and,
yeah. I spent 45 minutes with him just in the office,
Wow,
reviewing everything.
wow, wow.
Okay, on to, anything additional, on the additional agenda items? On to item 11, executive session. Look to make, I guess we need a motion to go into executive session under 1 Maine Revised Statute 4056A.
Did you make that motion?
I'm making that.
Oh,
motion.
okay, I'll second.
Any further discussion? Or it's unanimous, we're going into executive session at 5 minutes of 6. I'd like to make a motion that we come out of executive session.
second?
Those in favor? Unanimous? No action taken?
You wanna say what time?
It is, yes, it's, thank you, Jody, it's 7:07. Next item is to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second, we're done, thank you.
Thank you.